All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I'm going to give honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Quadash. We say Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Bahashem, Quadash. And we give double honors to our apostles and our elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yabashim Yahushai. All right, 2026, which is the year of apostates, fallouts, and spies. Let's jump right into this lesson. This is a heavy lesson concerning technology is moving at a lightning pace. Okay, I remember a lesson that was titled warp, not warp speed, but it is progression. This truth has progressed, but what you see with this AI, because AI has not come out of nowhere. AI has been given just like the knowledge and wisdom to make thermonuclear weapons, to make hypersonic weapons, to make the internet in itself was given. That's why it says everything good is given from the Heavenly Father. So Yahweh has given this technology to Esau for a purpose, okay? And that purpose now is being manifested in the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because this AI knows, especially GMS doctrine, down to almost a T. I'm not going to say perfect. It goes off, of course, just like Google went off. There's a time that we were using Google just like we're using AI now. But when I seen this video here, you can see it titled on the page, it says AI transforms 50 iconic Roman figures into modern day people. So why I found this funny was because starting with Apostle Elder Tahar had coined and labeled the ruler of Babylon today as Nero coming back, which is a heavy thing, which is all fingers point to he is and has to be that man coming back in the reincarnation. But now I seen this article, and this was on February the 17th. So it was a couple days ago. That's why, I was trying to make sure to get this lesson done, because like it says, things are happening so fast, but you're going to see a lot of these images are being transferred as Edomites. Okay. And we can pull up information on how the modern day, where they say Esau's done away with, going back to vocab, but his history itself pinpoints that the Edomites assimilated and were actually, the Romans were descendants of the Edomites. So if AI is regenerating these images and they look like modern day Edomites, modern day Idumeans, so Esau's not done away with, because his ancestry line, all right, his phenotype is being expressed in what you call the modern day Europeans and modern day Americans, modern day Edomites today, which are calling themselves by different names and different titles. So this is not us doing it. This is not us behind the search engine, behind the algorithm. We're not running this. We're just telling you this through the Spirit. We're prophesying through the Spirit. Now technology is backing up what we're saying. And this is a heavy little video that I seen. And you know who. I got some things on that too. So we'll jump into it. Lord willing, is edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. So let's jump into it. It says AI transforms 50 iconic Roman figures into modern day people. Ancient Roman history is taking on a modern face in a video that reimagines some of the empire's most famous figures as people living today. Okay, using AI assisted visuals and digital reconstruction, the video presents 50 well known historical Roman figures. Why? At all the times. Why? Because now it's gotten to a point that it's gotten to a power. I'm speaking about AI, that it can be even asked these things and it be able to process it and reconstruct it. That's why it says, if it be possible, they shall deceive the very elect. We're in a time where you can be deceived easily, more than most times ever in history. You can be deceived because you have something that makes up videos or recreates videos or brings videos out of nothing that don't exist. But if you're somebody, let's say if you bring a ancient person in the modern time and show them some of these AI videos, they'll think it's real. They won't be able to tell you that it's a fake video where you tell them, oh, it doesn't exist. They're gonna have a harder time processing that it doesn't exist than that it does exist. Or they'll believe more about it being a real video than they would it being a fake video, because they don't know the high level technology. They wouldn't comprehend the technology that's behind it. Okay, it says AI assisted visual and digital reconstruction. The videos present 50 well known historical Roman figures with contemporary appearances, offering a fresh way to connect with the ancient world, because these men are coming back. So some of these Roman figures, they look like people we know today, and you can be the judge of it. So I'm gonna play this video. Fair use, fair use. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for any type of monetary gain. This is for you to look at the information and soak the information in, and look and see that Yahweh Shem Yahshua is bringing these people back, and they're here today. It could be in the legislative, the Senate, the different branches of the government around the world, even, because the Roman Empire's reach has now touched the entirety of the planet Earth. So some of these people aren't just in America. They could be in Europe. They could be in different parts of the EU. All right. But let's watch this video. This is very useful. Let's play. I'm gonna play it small. Salakia. So what's happening? They're taking the bust, okay, the rock bust, okay, and they're remodeling it and putting flesh, skin, hair into a modern day version of a Caesar or a ruler. And you know, hopefully they'll do it because some of these rulers were Jakes, okay? That was Domitian. That was Domitian right there. That was the look of who you have, Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian, okay? That's where you get the arc of Titus. Galbert, Artho, and Vitalis. That's Galbert right there. Galbert. Hadrian. And then let's look at let's go back. I missed the one I needed to. Here we go. Watch close. Watch this part. Different Caesars. I'll post the link, Lord willing. That way you can see a lot of these figures. This is just various. There you go, right there. So we'll play it from here, and you'll see somebody that you know. I'm not gonna let the algorithm pick up on it. You see it on the screen, right? You see this picture right here. All right. You see the name. You read the name. You can see it clearly, right? You see who modern day image is, right? So when I seen this, I said, damn, let me make a comparison and see if we can make some comparisons, because AI is not, it doesn't have a end goal. It's a receiver. It gives you what you put into it, or it gives you an answer to what you put into it. Okay. So AI is reconstructing all these images. So what I did is I went to Grok. Okay. I didn't know it could do it, but I went up here and I said, let me show you. I said, can you compare these images and tell me the similarities between? So I took, you see who you on the screen, okay? You see who's on the screen. And I just wanted to see. I wasn't trying to be any kind of, I just wanted to pop up and see. And then I have the images of the reimagined version of that statue of Nero Caesar, okay? Here are 3 images you provided, and I'll focus on comparing them for similarities, primarily visual appearance based, since that most direct way to compare photos, portraits like these. Okay, listen close. I didn't know it could do this. I was on a whim, but look what it says. Image 1, Nero Caesar, modern stylized portrait with curly brown cut hair, black turtleneck necklace, text overlay labeled him as the infamous emperor. Okay, so you see the image there. Young man, 20 to 30s appearance, very distinctive tight curls, bowl cut hairstyle, almost mushroom bowl shape. Okay? Listen what it says. Medium brown, boldish brown color. Fair skin, light colored eyes, appears blue, green, gray. Slight smile, direct gaze at camera. Dressed in formal modern apparel. So this is telling me the images, right? Okay. And you know who all the other 2 images are. Key similarities across the images. All are portraits of men facing the camera, which of course that's easy. Straight on head, shoulders. Age appearance overlap. All depict men who look roughly in their 20s to 40s, youthful and mid-age adult. Hair is prominent, defined features in each. Image 1, dramatic curl, bowl cut. Image 2, voluptuous side parted 70s style hair. Image 3, voluptuous comb over. In all 3, the hairstyle stands out more than average and helps define the look of the person. Fair, light skin tone, consistent across all three portraits. Slight smile. Okay, let's go down. And it says, if you asked because of specific theory, meme, historical parallels, or who does this remind you of? Angle, especially given the Nero Caesar label. The most obvious intended similarities seems to be between image 1, Nero recreation AI edited, and image 3, young Donald Trump, particularly the hair volume, over facial structure, vibe, and certain angles, plus the confident direct stare and formal attire. Okay? Almost the same smile. Look at the smile. That little smile right there. Then look at that little smile right there. Because if it was turning to the side, yeah. It says, particularly the hair volume, overall facial structure, vibe in certain angles, plus the confident direct stare and formal attire. And then I said, expound on this. It says, yes, diving deeper into the comparison you highlighted, especially the visual appearance based one between images, the stylized Nero hairstyle, black turtleneck necklace, and text overlay calling him the infamous emperor. The image 3, a classic portrait of young Nero in the suit and red tie, makes a lot of sense in context. This type of image pairing often circulates in online spaces as part of a meme culture, spectacularly edited or stiffly historical parallels content. The Nero recreation in image 1 appears to be modern, artificial AI generated or heavy edited take designed to invoke Nero while subtly mirroring certain real world figures. When paired with young Trump's photo, the intent is usually to draw attention to the superficial, because it wasn't together. I put it together. So it's trying to pretty much explain like I found it on the site with them both together. I didn't. The intent is usually to draw attention to the superficial resemblance that fuel humor's provocation and conspiratorial commentary. Okay, visual similarities. Hair as the standout feature. Both have voluptuous, prominent hair that dominates the upper part of the frame. Trump's icon, early 1980 comb over, blonde, light brown, high volume on top of the carefully styled to come. So they're coming down and do their own hairstyle again. Facial structure and expression. Fair skin, direct eye contact, let's see here. And slight self-assured smile that reads as a confident, what is that? Bordering a smug or some interpretations and jawline. So you can clearly see that this man's that's him. Okay, that's what I thought about. This is the book of. Let's get some precepts and we're gonna close on out. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 1 in verse 9 in the Message. And it says, smoke not, it says, smoke not, but smoke. Hold on. Smoke nothing but smoke. That's what the quarrels say. There's nothing to anything that is all smoke, that there is shown for a lifetime of work, a lifetime of working your fingers to the bone. Let me go back here. I'm trying to get the precepts. That way we can hit it in. Here we go. It says what was will be again. That means reincarnation. So Nero's coming back, Antiochus is coming back, all these leaders, they come back until the kingdom of heaven is reestablished. and put on the planet Earth. So this is not nothing new. Okay, that's why it says the kings of the earth are going against you, because these are rulers that were in the ancient world. Now they're coming back, and they're a lot as presidents or rulers. That's why certain people they'll be surprised that they got in the office. Why did they get in office? Because their spirit and who they are is a. All right, Shalom, back at it, Salakia. So you see the comparison that you see, because the blood that was on Nero's hand is coming back now. All right, we're seeing that take place because you have a lot of the truth that's coming out of Babylon, and it's not a coincidence that this man is the leader and the truth. That's that. Just like the apostle says that Babylon is where you need to be worried about. These are where the major players are at. Okay, if you're dealing with investments and different things, where is the most return at? If the Lord is investing His money, which would be the men, the prophets, the men that are out here doing the work in the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, where would be that He's investing the most in Babylon? There's not prophets in Uganda. there's brothers that's listening, of course. There's brothers that are pushing and prophesying on the four corners of the planet Earth, but the main investment that the Lord has put the bulk of the prophets in is in Babylon. So you have to understand that there's a bulk of the opposite end too. A lot of wickedness is coming out. That's why it says Babylon is the mother of harlots. A lot of wickedness and debauchery comes out of this place and spreads all over the earth, because this is where a lot of these players are coming out of. So let's read again, Ecclesiastes 1:9. It says, what was will be again. So reincarnation is real. The average person doesn't know that because they're not privy. You ask vocab, Christians, different things, they say they don't know how to break down reincarnation because the breath, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding hasn't been animated in them. That explains Adam right there. That explains the breath of life. Adam had the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in the garden. So now it says, what was will be again, and what happened will happen again. History repeats itself. So Nero is coming at the Christians, but not calling them Christians. He's just calling them Latins. He's calling them criminals and all these, because he was one of the ones that had, I think it was the New York 8 or whatever it was, that they were gonna put to death, and they ended up being innocent. But he had that hatred back then. It says there's nothing new on this earth. Year after year, it is the same old thing. All right, history is coming back. This is Isaiah 11 and verse, or 13 and verse 11. NLT, it says, I, the Lord, will punish the world for its evil and the wicked for their sin. I will crush the arrogance of the proud and the humble, and it says, and humble the pride of the mighty. So all these things that you see taking place now on the four corners of the earth is Yahweh Shem Yahshua is moving everything to the time of judgment. All right, nothing's gonna pass it. Nothing's gonna go to the next level until Yahweh Shem Yahshua allows it. That's why we're telling you to prepare yourselves, get yourself tightened up, get yourselves ready, get yourselves in the mode of this is what could happen. All right, the financial infrastructure is being shifted. And it's not a bad. There's nothing bad. This is not a bad thing. It's just like if somebody takes a knife out of you, you've been stabbed, but somebody's taking a knife out of your body because they got to sew you up. That's not a bad. Yeah, it hurts like fuck. Ain't nobody. That shit hurts. Anything like that'll hurt. All right, if you're being pulled out of a damn car or some crazy thing, it's not gonna be comfortable, but it's to save your life. All right, that's what we're telling Jake. We're pulling them out of the old doctrines and the old ways of the world, and they look at us like we're trying to kill them. No, you gonna die in there. That's what we tell Nate. That's what we tell IUIC, ISUPK. If you don't get, you gonna die in Babylon. If you don't allow us to pull you out, somebody said, nah, just leave me here. I'm cool. Nigga, there's a train coming. Or there's your artery is cut. If we don't get you out in time, you're gonna bleed out. There's a different types of scenarios. That's what we're telling. Well, yeah, it's uncomfortable. It don't feel good, but instead of Jake getting over their pride and getting over their minds of I got to be right, all right, I don't want to listen to you, or who you, that's what they were saying about Yahweh Shai. They were saying, man, because what did it say? It said that they didn't want to take him because they were afraid of the people. If it was up to them, they would have took Yahweh Shai a long time ago, a long time before he was set to be glorified. But it wasn't up to them. But they were doing for what, the looks of men. They were eye service. Oh yeah, shit, we can't take him now. The people gonna be mad at us, and they're gonna take away our. That show you the mentality that they were in. Okay, they weren't in the true spirit. They were in the spirit of trying to please people, to keep their money, keep their status, keep their positions that they had. That's why it says that they loved the cheap seats. They had the phylacteries, the fringes. They looked the part. They were perfect. If you were somebody that didn't know better, that's why the example of the Israelite foreigners coming into Jerusalem and Yahushua got mad because of the money changers. Jake didn't know any better. They came in and thought that those are the high priests. You ain't gonna come in and disrespect them. You gonna pay the money. You said, damn man, this is a little higher than last year, ain't it? But you a foreigner. You're a stranger, if you want to say it. You're a Gentile coming in, and they, you already being looked at crazy. So you're not trying to shake up anything because you want to come and truthfully honor the Lord. But these guys, they were ripping you off, and you didn't even know it. But Yahushua knew because he was a local. Because how do I prove that? When he was 12, he was in the temple. So he knew how they were moving. He knew the ins and works in the Jake. Jake always been grimy, man. Jake has always been a grimy. My mom told me about this story I'll never forget. I always bring it up, that in the marketplace, because there would be vendors in the marketplace. What they'll do, they'll cut the bottom out of a cup. Say if you weighing something, like you weighing produce or you weighing some kind of spice, they would cut the bottom out of the opposite can and they would lower the weight. So you thought you were getting equivalent, but you were getting a lower amount. So you were paying for what would be let's say a couple kilograms of spice, but you were actually paying for lesser than what you thought you was because the bottom was cut out. So if you didn't take to look the cup and lift the cup up and see the bottom of it, you thought you had a full amount, but you didn't. Or say you give me a cup of cumin, or they call it a scoop. If you ever been to spice houses or spice places, there's a great place around, and I know I go get my spices. You do it by the scoop. So if I say I want 2 scoops, he's gonna charge me for 2 scoops. But let's say the bag I got is less, and he say, "Oh yeah, let me charge you by this." Or the scooper is smaller than it was a week ago or a month ago, but he's still charging me the same amount that he did for the scoop that I bought the pep. So he's getting over on me. That's what these wicked Sadducees and Pharisees were doing in the high priest. So Jake was corrupt. That's why Yahushua had to come on the scene, because of situations like that. Isaiah 13:11 says, "And I, the Lord, will punish the world for its evil, the wicked for their sin, and I will crush the arrogancy of the proud and humble the pride of the mighty." And that's what we're doing now. We telling you, look, it's a wrap, man. If you ain't in the ways of Yahbashim Yahushua, it's going to be a bad deal for you, man. All right, so I just had to bring that information out, Lord. Ones edify lesson. I'm getting ready to lay it down. Get ready for the plantation. But yeah, I seen that AI revision. If the Lord allow me to revisit it again, I'll or definitely post the link. I will. But if you want to see it again, all you got to do is type in this title and it'll come up for you. So with that, I want to give all praise and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rechak Wadash. Until next time, I say Shalom, and more, and I never keep it. Shalom. Shalom.